Hey everyone, I wanted to make a video basically just saying my opinion on some poems in the book Stars in Our Hearts Ambition by the World Poetry Movement. Right there, if you don't know what I'm talking about. I'm found on page 212, and I just wanted to make sure people in this book know that they're appreciated. I do believe that a lot of arts today are very underappreciated, and it does hurt me sometimes to think about it, but I wanted a few of people in here that really resonated with me to know that they weren't underappreciated at all. And so I'll start off by reading a poem that really resonated with me called Tears of Mine by Thomas Kerner on page 9. And it goes, "My tears fall gently just like the rain, for the mood of sorrow, for the feeling of pain. For joyful happiness and loving laughter, my tears flow softly down my cheeks, like rivers to the sea, a source of feeling that's kept deep inside of me." When I first read that poem, it was like images of my own childhood and memories just started coming back to my head. It was that simplicity of it that was so beautiful, this like sort of nursery rhyme without all the, different rhymes you could say. It was straight and to the point, short and sweet, and Thomas, it was one of my favorite poems simply because of that. It was just so beautiful. It wasn't too depressing and it wasn't too happy. It was just right for me. Another poem that I want to bring attention to is called Stages by Christian Yoder, and it goes, "The young are filled with verve and might. They note what's wrong and what is right. With their zeal unmarred and fist upcurled, they are eager to reform the world. The middle-aged think bad and good are woven as the grains of wood. A battle may be won or a battle may be lost. They deem the difference small in cost. The aging hold to one day's view, but still anticipate something new. They reckon life as ebb and flow, and it's wise to let the world be so. In every age some sing in vain, some clasp the ring, some die in pain. When this life stage's end, each stands alone with grace to span the timeless zone." And in italics, it goes, "Throughout my life I have had many discussions with friends and family about politics, religion, education, entertainment, technology, etc. This poem is my perception regarding my personal involvement from teenage years through my career and to retirement and beyond. Perhaps my own sense and understanding of how I have changed is a theme not unlike that of many other people. I think that one appropriate way to share my thoughts and feelings is through poetry." And I couldn't agree more, Christian. This poem, and I know I might have messed up one line there, but when I was reading it, but this poem was just so beautiful because you can almost see your train of thought as you're going through your life. And you're trying your best to contemplate, what it entailed, what you were thinking of, what it was, involving. And it was just, I loved, the imagery of just imagining you sitting there. And I just imagine you and your thoughts going across your head as you have your eyes closed by a nightstand and you're writing this poem. And I know that sounds so weird, but it was just one of those beautiful poems where I could really relate to the author of it in a way that, some of these poems didn't initiate in me, but some did. Again, everyone who's in this book obviously has some form of talent, and I don't want anyone to feel like discredited because I can only touch on a few of them. Another poem I want to bring attention to, or two of them because they're on the same page 77, is Silence by Ashley Dimusio. I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. It goes, "I sit in a nameless field, blades of green, brown, and yellow, stabbing flesh mixing to become red. The rain pounds, the wind batters, yet not a sound can break the silence. I raise my eyes to the heavens. Am I on the right path? The silence remains." There's no italics here, but Ashley, I wanted to say that I found this poem to be very symbolic, and because it was so short yet so symbolic, it had even more meaning to me, personally. Especially when you go blades of green, brown, and yellow. It was almost as if in my eyes I pictured you referring to different life stages, beginning, middle, and end. And then when you go stabbing flesh, mixing to become red, it was almost as if I felt you were saying, all these memories, all these things that are going on in my life are literally branded to me, and I have to carry them around with me now. And then they go, the rain pounds, the wind batters. It was almost like now I'm having to deal with the repercussions, the consequences of everything. And then the question, am I on the right path? The silence remains, that final line. It was as if to say, it doesn't matter now because life is found within the silence. And I enjoyed that immensely. Having to dissect everything was just beautiful, and it was one of those short poems that, because it was so descriptive, so symbolic, resonated more with me. Another poem is Suffocation by Stephen Foley, and it goes, "The sounds are jumbled, my emotions surround me, the weight falls adamantly upon my chest, my limbs spread out, displaying my body in a large X. The air forces itself inside me, I begin to suffocate on the intensity of pressure, a cognitive dissonance of thoughts ambushing my brain. unable to think, unable to move, unable, drowning in the metaphorical water of life. And in italics it goes, I'm a middle grade education major, double major in language arts. I'm also in a children and teenager writing course. I love to write, and I find comfort in language arts. My first publication was in the winter of 2010 in my campus journal at Ohio State University. I wrote this poem based on how I felt struggling through college, friendships, and life in general. This poem, because even in the italics, it makes me resonate with it more, because you were basically describing some things that I felt as well, especially because I'm about to go into college very soon. I see my campus in a few weeks as well, and just imagining life, and I'll be majoring in English as well, and I wanted you to know that this poem really touched me because of your honesty in it and the beauty within the darkness. And I really hope you're happy now in these times have passed you, because you obviously have some really great talents, and I hope you find more comfort in language arts, as I do as well. And, it was so beautiful. I've run out of adjectives to describe some of these poems, as you'll see. I'm a nerd for literature. Another poem that really resonated with me was Shadows on page 80 by Helene Koterwisky. I hope I said the name right. I'm sorry if I get your names wrong, people. It goes, they walk down the shadowed aisle, amazed at all they see. They were reflections in the shadows of what they thought they'd be. They whispered to the mirrored realm, who is really me? It shimmered back and seemed to say, you'll just have to wait and see. Life is full of wonder with every turn you take. So what you see about yourself is only what you make. Life is just beginning. Try to live it all with joy. Its ending creeping upon you, and it is never coy. I love the formatting of it, how you changed your rhyming scheme towards the end, Helene, and it was just so wonderful to see you elaborating on something that most consider dark, but you make it seem beautiful in a way that's just average and normal. When I say average, I don't mean, writing average, whoop-de-doo. I mean average as if, to say that what you're going through is normal, you just have to accept it. That's what I got from it. Again, poems are all based on individual perception, but I like this poem because of that, as if reassuring you, you just gotta do this and everything will be okay. Another poem that I enjoyed reading was on page 90 by Devin Lideman. I think that's the name. Again, I might get your names wrong, I'm sorry. It's called The Light Shines in the Darkness. The light shines in the darkness, but the darkness has not yet understood it. I am the darkness. My unseeing eyes can feel your presence, seeing it, not always believing. You've always been there, the light shining through the darkness, shining through me, touching my heart, allowing me to believe. Taking me into your arms, light overcomes darkness. It was a beautiful poem. It was almost as if I can imagine two people completely opposite of one another coming to a compromise in a very loving fashion. Yet it was, in a way, a perfect interpretation of life, night and day, dark and light. It had so many adaptations in my mind and so many ways to understand the poem as a poem that just by the pure, dynamic nature of the poem itself, I couldn't not like it. Another poem, before I end this video, that I want to bring attention to is a poem called Salvation by Whitney Norman, and it goes, fading away into never-ending sadness, all alone in the darkness, then a light, bringing me out of my dark sleep into the world of sunshine. Now I am not alone. I am surrounded in purity and warmth. This is called love. It was so simple and so short, yet so to the point as well, and descriptive, but not to the extent of being overly descriptive. And yet each sentence pretty much said a line and a truth within it, that it was almost like you were just laying out a picture and saying, look at how beautiful this picture is. It's called love. This person I'm with is love. And I like that. And in italics it goes, one of the best ways to express our feelings is through poetry. And that's what this poem is to me. This was my expression of everything I think one can feel before finding love, but it from a person or in itself. No matter where you find that love, I believe it has the power to change the world. And I agree with you 100%, Whitney. I do believe that love can change the world and that all you need is a little bit of love to understand life in general. Let me see. Okay, there we go. Again, I'm going to read more of these poems and I'm going to try to give more reviews on it. I just wanted to give the ones that really stood out, to me for now. There are other ones, but I don't want to make this video too long. And thank you everyone who was in the World Poetry Movement first of all, for allowing, all these poets, including myself, to have the opportunity to, share our feelings in a way that was beneficial to us and that wouldn't cost us an arm and a leg. Again, I hope all of you, have a really awesome night right now. It's actually the sun's setting here, so I better walk the dog. And I'll see you all later. Bye.